So in this second video on ergogenic aids, we're really going to explore the idea of the illegal ergogenic aids. And I suppose in that sense, we're going to start to discuss some of the nitty-gritty issues with regard to performance-enhancing drugs in sport. And the thing I would really remind you of is that, when we studied the AS course, or when you studied the AS course, presumably last year for you guys, you would have done that whole section in sociocultural studies on drugs in sport. Think back to that. Think back to some of the sort of the sociological reasons why people use illegal performance-enhancing substances, even though the chances of being caught are relatively high. We see it all the time. Tyson Gay, Justin Gatlin, Asper Powell, and so on. I've just named three. You've got Dwayne Chambers, Marion Jones. Obviously, Armstrong, Landis from the cycling world as well. I mean, there's some big high-profile people being caught, and I suppose we also need to note that when they're being caught because organisations like WADA, the World Anti-Doping Agency, are doing a good job, right? They're fulfilling their role. In the case of WADA, they're that international governing body that covers the whole of sport, or at least sport that are signed up to it. But the only thing with that is that you've then got national governing bodies for anti-doping, and the United States one is called USADA, for example. In Britain, it's done by UK Sport, and this kind of organisation is only as powerful as the people it works with, right? So, kind of in competition testing, it kind of takes the lead, but out of competition testing, it's perhaps more reliant on some of the national anti-doping agencies, and some countries do come into some criticism. I'm not going to name which ones. You can go and read about that, but there's some interesting aspects of that varies from nation to nation. And the other thing I'd sort of mention here, because I'm not going to list them, is that it's not just performance-enhancing drugs that are illegal. We also need to think about the notion of the masking drug, okay, the drug that covers up the drug. Okay, so something like a diuretic, for example, a diuretic drug, which is a drug which effectively makes you flush out your system and therefore gets rid of any sign of something like a steroid, for example. So just bear in mind that there's these kinds of substances as well that are out there and are used quite widely. But certainly what we need to do is we need to look at what the ergogenic aid is, in this case the illegal ones. We need to look at the advantage that the performer is going to get from it. What does it actually do to them, which is going to be advantageous and worth the risk. We therefore need to look at the side effects. Is this going to affect their health? Is this going to lead to addiction, so on, so on, so on. I mean, one of the side effects is it's illegal and you might get caught, all of the ones that we're going to talk about here, that is. And we're also going to think about what athletes might use these. And we might be able to look at specific